99.7 DJX, the Ben Davis and Kelly K Show podcast. All you have to do is turn it up on demand.
Kelly, will you describe what group therapy is all about?
Well, group therapy is kind of a little sharing corner where you can come to us if you got an issue and you want some advice from people who don't have any emotional connection to the situation.
Right. Adison shot us a message and says, hey, Ben and Kelly, I need your take on this. I need to know if I lost $500. Okay, I'll bite.
Okay, all right.
She explains, about 8 months ago, I lent $1,000 to a friend. She was unemployed then and needed it for car insurance and some other stuff. A couple months later, she found a job and paid me back half. Last week, we had dinner together, and I was going to ask about the second half. But she told me, A, she was out of work again, and B, she was getting married and was hoping to get employed again soon so she could save every penny for her wedding in April. I feel bad asking for it now. Should I just forget about this money? $500 is a lot of money just to forget. Thanks, Adison.
Oh, gosh. I feel as though now we have to put our little, Judge Judy hats on or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, is this a case where she chalks it up and says, hey, use that other $500 that I was going to give you, or that I gave you towards your wedding? Or, I mean, it sounds like
that's a really big wedding gift, though, too.
I know. It sounds like Adison, though, could use the $500.
I know.
That's the problem here. So I don't know. I mean, man, when you mix money and friends, a lot of times I almost feel like you got to write that off just as a, look, I've got to be prepared that I don't ever get this money back, before you enter into that sort of agreement,
Yeah, but I also don't think that it's unreasonable for her to expect to be paid back in full.
True. All right. Would love to know your take as well. 502-571-9970's group therapy. Group therapy. Adison wants to know if she lost $500. She had lent $1,000 to a friend. She needed the money at the time. She was out of work, but then once her friend got a job, she paid back half, but then had dinner together last week, and Adison was going to ask her friend about the other half of the money, but found out she was out of work again. And she was getting married and was hoping to get employed again soon so she could save every penny for her wedding in April.
Yeah, so then she thought, well, this isn't a good time to say, hey, are you going to give me back that other $500?
Yeah. So, what, lending money to friends, in my experience, you almost have to write that off when you realize, I'm not going to see this money again. But there are a couple good text messages that rolled in.
Yeah, John said, tell her how about it's a wedding gift and never lend money again. Lesson learned. Natalie said $100 or less. I don't really expect it back, but $500? I don't feel like that's unreasonable to ask for that back. Unfortunately, friends and family will be the first to take advantage of your kindness. Although the wedding and everything's coming up, what's going to be the next excuse?
Yeah, there's always going to be an excuse. That's the problem. Yeah, Savannah writes on Facebook, still ask for it. That's a decent amount of money just to let go. Not asking for it back just teaches that friend that she can just walk all over you.
Yikes.
Leah says, what kind of agreement was made for the money to be paid back? If yes, she should ask about it, but maybe along the lines of, hey, do you know when you will be able to pay me back the rest of the money you owe me? How is the person saving money for a wedding? When they aren't working. Never lend money to friends and family. That's from Leah.
Yeah. Jojo said she owes it. She should pay it, even if it's just a little at a time.
Man.
But I know it's addressing that is the awkward part.
That's the hardest
part. They had dinner 100%. And it wasn't brought up. So, that kind of, to me, sends a message that the friend is saying, I'm not going to pay you back. And then, that puts Adison in a really awkward position to say, hey, I know, you don't have a job right now and you're trying to pay for the wedding and you're talking about saving all the money, but you still owe me $500. That's a tough situation to bring up.
I'm
bad at that.
Did Adison spring for dinner?
Good question.
Or did they go Dutch? Yeah, right, for sure. Man, like that's one of those things that, $500 is.
It is a lot.
It's a lot of money, yeah.
Well, and if I had borrowed that kind of money, I would never sleep well until I paid it all back. Like I wouldn't feel right about like taking that amount of money from someone and not giving it back. And I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't not address it.
Yeah, Chris brings up a good point. Just tell her to pay it back whenever she can afford it. Like, hey, you know what? I understand, times are tough right now, but
that's good.
I mean, if Addison's in a part where in a point in her life where she doesn't absolutely need that money, which man, that can stink too. Like, you're in a spot 8 months ago where $1,000, you're like, yeah, I mean, I can loan $1,000. And then now 8 months later, maybe Addison's situation financially has changed. And now all of a sudden she's going, yeah, $500 could really help.
Well, and the fact that the friend paid back half of it knows it was a loan and not a gift.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's the difference. Like it kind of, I think, can sometimes matter what words you use. Like I'll give you or I'll loan you.
Yeah.
I expect to be paid back for sure.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. The friend is getting married. What if the new husband's got the money to pay back?
Yeah. I mean, and there's always a ton of money around weddings. So
exactly.
Hey, you know what? Wait until after the wedding in April. Yeah. If you can wait that long, because she's going to be getting money from her wedding.
Exactly.
People are going to be giving her wedding gifts.
I feel like I really would like to land on the good suggestion that the whole, hey, I know things are tough like right now, but maybe you can just pay back the rest of the loan whenever you can.
All right.
So she kind of lets her know, I would like to be paid back. But then isn't like so demanding that, she get it back now.
Yeah, I think that's a good solution. All right, well, we'll move on from this. But if you want to comment and put your own suggestion up on Facebook, it's there at Ben and Kelly Show.